Hey, this is Dave Meshkov from Knopman Marks. I'm here with my colleague Howard Kaplan, and we're going to share some of the study strategies that our students have used that they found to be really effective. And not all of these work really well for everybody, but as you're thinking about going and studying for your series exam, maybe some of these will work for you. Now, Howard's trained tens of thousands of people over 30 years, and so he's seen it all. Howard, what do you think are some of the really winning strategies that people sometimes use?
Well, bottom line, Dave, it's a great question. I think number one, it's just taking ownership of the fact that you have to take a test. And it's developing a study strategy that you know is going to work for you. If you're working full-time or have other types of jobs or positions, it's being sure you've just blocked out the hours and know that from X time to Y time, you're going to sit down and do that work and stay committed to whatever your plan is, because without a plan, you're not going to get far.
Yeah, I mean, the people who come at this with a negative view, that it's frustrating, that this exam's not related to the work you do, that this is just an interruption in the business you're trying to develop, it just undermines them. And it is frustrating, and it may not be like the best thing or the most exciting thing for you.
Right.
But you have to just put that aside,
right,
because carrying that weight undermines your trying to achieve your goals.
100%, and so many people that I meet in classes or tutoring tell me that they have finally gotten past the point of denial,
yeah,
and maybe there's a way out.
Right.
And they realize there's no way out because they need it. And so once we get past that, then they're willing to stand and listen to a rational study strategy and realize they're going to put this into play and they're going to win.
You know, a lot of this stuff relates to your industry.
Sure.
And, I would say more often than not, people who come out of it, they say, you know what, it really wasn't what I do, but I kind of now know what the other folks are doing. And if you can take that approach as an opportunity to learn it, it only helps.
Right, and I think to an extent that when you are exposed to things that are not your everyday world, it just makes you appreciate much more that, in addition to what you're doing, there's a whole world out there that you should be grateful that you've had a chance to be exposed to what people in your industry are doing, although it may not be related to your day-to-day job at all.
Right. Now, some of the specifics. One of the things that I always tell my students is, be sure you can commit dedicated time to study. And ideally, that's going to be in the morning, and it's going to be time that's uninterrupted and focused. That means if you can give me 30 minutes, no email, no computer, it's just you studying, I'll take that over 60 or even 90 minutes in the evening. Studies consistently show morning time is your best time to study,
right,
and you can't be fluttering back and forth between different things.
Yes, so many of my students will say they'll get up 30 or 45 minutes earlier in the morning because they know that is their quiet time of the day before they go walk the dog or work out. So they know that even before the sun comes up, theoretically, they've already put in their hour of time. So even if they don't get to anything else that day, they at least know they've done something. So I think that's important.
In terms of some of the other aspects for study strategy, when students are getting into those final hours, final days, you think it's good to take time off? Think it's good to schedule your test at a particular time of the week? How does that shake out?
Interestingly, I tell people the best day of the week to take an exam, just for my own sake, is a Monday or a Tuesday, because this way you've had the weekend and hopefully you've done all your heavy studying a couple of days prior to the exam, and now you just need a couple of days to get psychologically prepared. For many of these exams that we prepare people for, cramming does not work. So if your test is on a Monday, you've done all the heavy studying come Friday, and then just take those last couple of days and say, okay, let me just pull all my last minute pieces together. I think that puts you in a much more comfortable position to pass your test on Monday.
Yeah, these tests are designed to basically prevent somebody from cramming.
Right.
The amount of knowledge that you have to master is very difficult to pick up in that short time period.
Correct. And that's why if you've not taken the time to really compartmentalize your study hours and realize that if you don't give it the time that it's due, these exams, to your point, Dave, are almost begging, hey, I'm a test. You have to respect me. And you've got to give me the time and the effort that I deserve. Otherwise, you're playing with fire. And people have to realize sometimes careers are on the line here. So you really have to be faithful to the process.
In the actual exam, changing answers?
Hate changing answers, because changing answers 99% of the time works against you. If you're changing answers, it just means you're not confident about your first shot. And at this stage of the game, for all the hours you've put in, if you're not confident, you're in the wrong industry.
So if I do want to change an answer, what should I be looking for?
Well, you have to know exactly why you're making the change, and you have to have 100% compelling evidence that you just misread the question and that you're going for a better answer. Otherwise, Let your conscience be your guide. If you were driven to a particular choice, stick with it. That is likely the answer to your question.
Yeah. These tests are long. You got 3-hour tests, 3.5-hour, 5-hour tests.
They are long, but if you're talking like a Series 7 exam, which is a 6-hour test, 250 questions broken up into 2 sections, there's nothing wrong with taking a 5-minute mental health break a third of the way through just to say, you know what, the clock is ticking, but I need a little break. I need a drink of water. You should do so. Don't let it run against, don't let the size of the exam intimidate you or work against you. Say, I've got all the time in the world, but I'm going to use the time to my advantage. And you know what? If you feel yourself getting a little tired, you can close your eyes for 30 seconds and reset. It'll help.
That's right. The mental stamina to take these tests is different than most of the other work that we do. Adults can typically focus for up to about an hour.
Right.
And so when you're asked to jump into this exam scenario and be focused and attention, and you have to really know the question, you have to read and be focused for 2.5, 3 or more hours.
Right.
You are doing a disservice to yourself if you don't kind of give your brain a moment's break. And you're allowed to take unscheduled breaks, and we recommend you do, to, again, just do a reset.
100% agreed. And I think one of the most important things you can really do for yourself is have a really solid night's sleep the night before the exam, whether you have a morning exam or afternoon exam. If you've had the good night's sleep and you've had a good drink of water, you've had a meal before the exam, even though it's a long exam, you've got your strength and energy, because it's almost like a marathon, it's almost like an Olympic event in some cases. You have to be mentally strong to execute your game.
People sometimes don't properly consider that the cost of staying up late the night before and cramming, and that the benefits of the info that you're seeing at midnight, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning is outweighed, right, by the cost of you going into the exam a little more fatigued and not being able to recall all the other stuff.
Right.
And that you want to make sure you're speaking and getting a good night.
You know what, that may have worked in chemistry class in high school, but it does not work here. Yeah. So you really have to adopt best practices and realize this may be your one shot. And just, let the experts kind of help guide you through the process. That's really what we're here for.
Well, these are a lot of great study tips. Not every tip works for every student. So think about this and select what works best for you. And good luck on your test.
Good luck, everyone.